Yes, this lawsuit that lawyers representing the tenants here say took some time to serve, but they finally gave those papers to Seth Miller, the landlord of this building, after tenants here say they are living in deplorable conditions. I took a tour of two tenants' apartments showing what looked like a construction zone with rubble on the floor and the ceilings gutted, unfinished, with rat traps placed down by tenants to help with pests here. Tenants gathered in front of their building to officially announce that they have filed a lawsuit against Miller, who is number 36 on public advocate Letitia James's worst landlord list. His building's having hundreds of violations. People here tell me that after the radiator tragedy last week in Hunts Point, they feel a tragedy could happen here too if something isn't done quickly.
We saw with the death of the two infants the other day that when violations are not heeded, they're just tragedies waiting to happen. So what happens is it's just a matter of time before somebody loses their life in this building.
We will not be moved. We are fed up. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stand together and fight back.
And a lawyer confirming with us that one child who lives in this building has tested positive for lead, so they're hoping to be in court this Friday. And elected officials say their only goal is to remove Seth Miller as a landlord and get someone else to take over his place. Reporting in Longwood, Lenneia Batiste, News 12, The Bronx. New details in the fatal hit-and-run crash that happened here in Allerton last night. I'm Lenneia Batiste, and I'll tell you who police have now identified as the suspect.
The Bronx reporter Lenneia Batiste is at the scene with the latest for us. Lenneia?
That's right, JT. As you can see around me, there's still debris on the ground from that fatal hit and run that took place last night. And also, we found out some new information. Police have arrested 21-year-old Tanbir Islam as the driver who made all of this happen. So take a look. This is video from last night. The NYPD's collision squad says after 9 last night here on Boston Road near Barnes Avenue, Islam drove over the median, hit a minivan, which then slid into a parked car. And we're told that Islam has been charged, or he's been charged with manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter, fleeing the scene, and driving under the influence. Also, he lives just about a couple of blocks from here. I spoke to his mother, who says they found out the information late last night. She's distraught, especially hearing that someone has died and that the family's just trying to come together at this time. In Allerton, Lenneia Batiste, News 12, The Bronx.
All right, Lenneia.
Julio Salcedo pleaded not guilty today on 3 charges in connection to that deadly Kingsbridge explosion that killed FDNY Deputy Chief Michael Fahey. His lawyer telling us today there's just no connection. This is Salcedo in court. He was indicted on charges of first-degree assault in the death of Fahey, second-degree assault in the injuring of another firefighter, and criminal possession of marijuana. Now, Salcedo was a tenant in that building that exploded after firefighters responded to a gas leak. In that same house, a marijuana grow operation was discovered, which authorities are saying was connected to the explosion. However, Salcedo's attorney says the 2 incidents aren't connected.
Well, my client was not involved in the grow operation, so there's no connection. And he's being charged under a reckless theory. The reckless theory is that he had to be committing a felony. He was not committing a felony, so those charges will not be able to stick.
His attorney also applied for bail, which they will resume tomorrow to see if the bail is granted. She also tells us that the prosecutor plans to bring homicide charges against Salcedo as well. For News 12 The Bronx, I'm Lenneia Batiste. Carmen Santiago says the rat infestation in her apartment went way too far. She says her grandson was bitten by a rat and now she needs to move. This is a look at the apartment building along the Cross Bronx Expressway near Haviland Avenue in Parkchester. I saw a dead rat as soon as I walked in and holes where rats come in and out of the rooms. Santiago says on Saturday her 21-month-old grandson was sleeping in the bed when she woke up to him covered in blood. She then noticed a big rat and saw that he had been bitten on the finger. She took him to the hospital where he was treated and is now doing fine, but she's complained to the landlord saying he's done nothing to help. So she reached out to News 12. Santiago says she now needs a new place to live.
A bite mark, a really bad mark. They didn't get stitches because it was on the finger, but it was horrifying, something I wouldn't wish on nobody. I'm just seeking help to see if somebody watches this and, you know, sympathizes with me and gives me an apartment.
And Santiago says that she reached out to the health department and they confirmed that she has a rat infestation, even giving her traps to help out. I've reached out to the landlord and I'm still waiting to hear back with a response. In Parkchester, Lenneia Batiste, News 12 The Bronx. Yes, Amanda, shocking video showing two men running out of these gates right behind me just moments after a woman fell from this building. Take a look at this video. Police say this is video of the people that they're looking for. You can see one guy running out of the gate, and then just seconds later, a man comes trailing right behind him. 43-year-old Maria Carolina Sanchez DeBrucio's body was found in front of 940 Grand Concourse just after 3 p.m. last Saturday. And here was a picture posted to Facebook of her by her family. Published reports say she was trying to escape robbers before she fell from the building, and people in the area say they're shocked about what happened.
Shock and dismay. Someone pushed a lady out and killed her, basically. So, yeah, it's very disturbing. I mean, it's always been a little dangerous around here, but recently it's been pretty decent.
And to add, the man who lived in that apartment, Pedro Perez, he was arrested on weapons charges, but he was not charged in Maria's murder. So police say right now they're focusing on the two men you saw in that surveillance video. So if you know them or have any information, make sure you give Crime Stoppers a call. On the Grand Concourse, Lenneia Batiste, News 12, The Bronx. Calderon comes to the Cross Bronx Plaza often to go shopping at TJ Maxx.
I have proved me buy something in the store.
But yesterday, while walking back to her car, she noticed it was gone, and she had to shell out $135 just to get it back.
They tell me the truck take it. I'm surprised because I'm buying something inside the mall.
Anna's car was towed from this parking lot located directly across from TJ Maxx, an area designated for customers. She said she went in the store for only 20 minutes and has a receipt to prove it.
I'm working too hard for my money, and they take my car for nothing.
And she isn't the only one making these claims. Several people telling me customers are towed often.
They wait for you to whatever, they figure that you violated.
They like roll up behind your car and watch to see where you going and how long and stuff.
However, I spoke to the towing company and they're saying something different, claiming Anna parked and then walked away from the plaza, adding there are signs posted around the plaza warning drivers not to do this. And actually, I spoke to someone with the management company of this plaza, and he says they only tow cars that are parked illegally, and that actually after so many complaints, they sent out this letter to tenants to warn their customers on where they can and cannot park. The letter pointing out two other places deemed towing hot spots, fire lanes, and handicap spots without a tag. However, Anna remains confident she did none of those things and wants a refund.
Give me my money back.
At Cross Bronx Plaza, Lenneia Batiste, News 12, The Bronx.
I'm tired and I'm sick, and I really wish they'd come fix this.
Upset and frustrated, these residents here on Old Kingsbridge Road say they've had enough.
Can you please come fix this?
No one want to do nothing for us.
Last year, we reported on residents unsuccessfully urging the city to fix this unmapped street, a bumpy, unpaved road with major potholes. And a year later, nothing has changed.
I called to Richie Torres' office.
They ever called you back?
No.
But now residents say there's even more potholes.
Totally 9 potholes.
Creating big, deep puddles of standing water, which they say is now a major health risk.
With all of the medical problems that are going on now with the Zika virus.
Come out and sweep it to stop the mosquitoes.
So residents now have taken matters into their own hands, trying to patch these holes themselves using drywall and gravel to make it happen. But they say it just isn't working.
I done patched up the holes that are in front of my house. And as it rains, so the cars go by, it just opens back up.
It washed everything up from being patched.
After many years of complaints, residents say they just want the city to step up.
Patching is not going to fix it. It needs to be completely repaired.
On Old Kingsbridge Road, Lenneia Batiste, News 12, The Bronx. A father asking for help after he says his 2 sons were wrongfully assaulted by a New York sheriff's deputy, capturing the entire exchange on his store surveillance camera.
It's the officer and he's the law. Why he's doing this to my sons?
Nuaz Minwer is distraught after he says his sons were beaten by a sheriff's deputy Wednesday morning in front of his furniture store on 3rd and East 168th, trying to prevent getting a boot due to parking tickets. Take a look at this video. You see this man getting ready to install the car boot, and then 25-year-old Minwer walks out and stands next to his car. The sheriff's deputy then walks up and begins arguing with Minwer. All of a sudden, you see the deputy push the son to the ground, then push the other brother, Sanad, and then hit Minwer in the back as he attempts to run away.
And he started beating him with a stick. And my son, he never touched him.
And that's not all. Later in the video, you see Minwer on the phone. His father says he called 911 and asked for the deputy's badge number. And when he did, the father says the deputy lashed out even more.
They dragged him when he went to get his badge number to the other side with a snow camera, and they was beating him up.
The sheriff's department says the car has over $600 in outstanding parking tickets, and that's why it was being booted. And since the sons tried to prevent getting the car boot, they were charged with obstructions of government enforcement.
If my car on any ticket, I would pay for it. So he didn't have to be very tough.
Now the father says both sons were taken to jail and one went to the hospital for severe back pain, saying he hopes this video will bring justice.
Thank God I have him in the video.
For News 12 The Bronx, I'm Lenneia Batiste.